Before we begin this story, make sure you watch with the lights dimmed and use headphones or earphones. Because tonight, I'm going to take you to a village rarely mentioned and to an old house that is said to be never truly empty. But before we get into the story, support this channel by hitting the subscribe button. Like if you enjoy horror stories like this, and write in the comments section, would you dare approach that house if you heard it on a Friday Kliwon night? Now, take a deep breath and let's begin the story. The village actually looked normal during the day. Green rice fields stretched out and the sounds of birds and wind could still be heard. But as the sun began to set, the atmosphere of the village changed drastically. People closed their doors early, the streets quickly became deserted, and no children dared to play outside. All because of a single old building at the edge of the village, a house that seemed to absorb the evening light and swallow the courage of anyone who gazed at it for too long. The house stood apart from the others. Its wooden walls were blackened with age, its roof had holes, and its front yard was overgrown with weeds. But most strangely, the house seemed to be constantly watched. Many residents felt they were being watched whenever they passed the nearby rice paddies, as if an invisible eye was lurking behind the tinted windows. The house once belonged to Mr. Wirio, an old man known for his quiet nature. He lived with his wife and daughter. But one day, the family disappeared without a trace. A few days later, Mr. Wirio was found dead in his own home. Since then, no one has dared to move into the house, and Mr. Wirio's name is only mentioned in a low voice, as if afraid he might overhear. Although the house had been empty for decades, residents often noticed strange things. Every morning, the dry leaves on the porch were swept clean. Doors that had previously been tightly closed were sometimes found slightly ajar. Some even swore they saw thin smoke coming from the kitchen, as if someone were cooking inside. On certain nights, especially on Friday Kliwon, the light of an oil lamp can be seen burning from inside the house. The light is dim, swaying gently as if buffeted by the wind, even though the night is otherwise calm. The villagers choose to avert their eyes, as anyone who stares at the house for too long often falls ill the next day. Since childhood, village children have been taught the same lesson. Don't play near that house. Don't turn around if you hear a voice calling from that direction. And never answer, even if the voice sounds very familiar. It's said that answering the call is like inviting something to follow you home. Arga came to the village as an honorary teacher. He was accustomed to city life and didn't believe in mystical stories. To him, they were simply inherited fears. When he heard the story about the old house, he became intrigued. Curiosity slowly overcame logic in the villagers' warnings. One afternoon, Arga plucked up the courage to ask the residents. They fell silent, their faces tense. An old man simply said softly, "That house isn't a place for those who still want to live in peace." The words actually made Arga feel challenged, as if there was a big secret being deliberately hidden. On a Friday Kliwon night, Arga walked alone toward the old house. The sky was dark and moonless, and the wind died down as he approached. As his feet nearly touched the porch, the wooden planks creaked loudly, though he clearly hadn't stepped on them. Arga's heart pounded, but he continued to move forward. Without being touched, the door slowly opened. A damp, rancid smell immediately assaulted Arga's nostrils. In the living room, a wooden chair stood against the wall, as if someone had sat there before. On the table lay a cup of warm tea, the steam still faintly visible. On the wall hung an old family photo. Mr. Wirio stood in the center, flanked by his wife and young child. But when Arga shone the flashlight, the child's face slowly faded, as if erased by an invisible hand. From behind, the sound of small footsteps running along the wooden floor could be heard. A soft cry came from the back room, the sound of a child's voice, cold and frightened. Arga approached, trembling. When the door opened, the room was empty. However, small claw marks could be seen on the floor, leading under the bed, as if someone had been hiding there. In the darkness, Mr. Wirio's voice sounded heavy and full of regret. Arga saw flashes of the past. Mr. Wirio had locked his wife and child in the house, afraid they would leave him. When a small fire broke out, he panicked and locked the house from the outside. They never survived. The child's sound sounded again, now very close to Arga's ear. It was soft, full of hope. "Uncle, stay with me." Arga's body stiffened. He remembered the villager's message. With his remaining courage, he closed his eyes and prayed, refusing to answer. In the morning, residents found Arga unconscious on the porch of the old house. His hair had turned partially white, his face pale. Since that night, he has not spoken of the house again. However, every Friday Kliwon, the oil lamp in Pact Wirio's house still burns, a sign that there is a resident who is still not ready to leave.